Hi there. Thanks for tuning in. This is Ann O'Brien here to talk with you about psychic self care, what it is, and how you do it. So, I don't know about you, but even though spring is here, you can hear the birds singing. And it's beautiful most days. It's still this kind of uncertain, unsettled feeling in the air. I'm hearing many people are feeling this way and kind of going back to life, but not sure what's going on, and things feel a little jerky or feel a little unstable or confusing, and people are making changes and just feeling a lot of chaos. So if you're feeling that, or if you just know you're a sensitive person and you're looking to try to make sense of this sensitivity and everything you're experiencing, and maybe you want to feel really good and feel better on a daily basis, just energetically, just with a clearer head for your emotions, psychic self-care might be useful. So if you don't know me, I'm an intuitive and spiritual healer. I started my business in 2004, and back in the late 1990s, I actually started psychic development school. And it was kind of funny because my friends were like, "What? You're learning to be a psychic? That's amazing." It seemed glamorous. And I was like, no, no, no. I am in therapy. That's what it felt like at the time. That was the lens I was looking at it through. Because the biggest aha I had was that most of what I was processing most of the time back then was not even mine. And so it wasn't about learning to be psychic. It was about learning to recognize, wow, I was psychic all day, every day, picking stuff up and then thinking it was mine to process and mine to solve. So that's really good news once you realize, if you're sensitive like me and you go, oh, wow, I don't have to process everything. So that's awesome. And then there are ways to clear it once you recognize that. Basically, it's as simple as making a decision like, oh, I'm not going to process that. I'm going to let go of that. And if it's not yours, that tends to be fairly easy to do. There are techniques you can learn that I teach, visualization practices and simple awareness practices, if it helps you to have a tool and a process for letting go of that energy. That's certainly available. And sometimes the energy will come back. Let's say you have a certain type of person that tends to trigger you, so you tend to pull that type of energy into your space. So in that case, you might need to ask, well, why am I allowing this back in? What am I getting out of this? There's a spiritual law, which is also really good news, that nothing can be in your space if you don't allow it. So as I see it, we are each spiritual beings, we are each infinite, and we have these bodies, and the bodies belong to us, and no other being or energy can be in them unless we actually give it permission. So that's really good news, because once you know that, it's empowering, and then you can go, that's not for me. And that can be easier to clear. So I've been meditating daily for almost 22 years now. I've missed 3 days. And sometimes people say, well, how on earth do you have the discipline? How do you find the time? And what I share is that it's not really something I need to discipline myself to do, because it's like taking a shower. It feels really, really good. And once you get used to doing it, you wouldn't want to go without it. So I think probably you wouldn't want to go more than a couple days without a shower. Same thing, I wouldn't want to go really more than a day without clearing my energy field. And it's nothing wrong with you or any of us. It's just that in the process of life, energy builds up. We have moments where we're tired, we're vulnerable, we're not as grounded, and boom, some energy gets in our field. So it's just a process every day to clear it, but it actually frees up your time, because if you think about it, if most of what you are processing without realizing that you could let go of that energy, if most of it wasn't even yours, how exhausting is that? And how much time does that take? That can cause a lot of problems. And so I find it's really, really freeing and helpful to learn these techniques for clearing. So the other thing I'll say just quickly, and I want to just mention that I have a class coming up in Carbondale, Colorado, if you're local. And I have some virtual classes coming up for those who aren't, but I love meeting in person, and I'm excited that we're able to do that. So starting Wednesday, May 19th, we have a psychic self-care series. It's a 6-week class, and you will learn the basics of grounding, energy centering, psychic protection, replenishing your energy, etc. So I hope you'll check that out on AnnO'BrienLiving.com and look under classes. I will say that, just a quick tip on psychic protection, because that's another big one people ask me about. The best protection is presence. The best protection is being grounded in your body. Your energy feels good. So when you're in your own body, it's probably going to feel pretty blissful once you learn to do that. And that's the other motivation. It's like eating well. It's like once you get used to, drinking healthy smoothies or juices or things that feel good, you're going to want to do it more. It's not a discipline. But presence. So the thing that gets most of us tripped up is when we're in pain or when something happens that hurts us or feels hard or we don't like or we feel overwhelmed. We check out, we space out, we go, I don't want to feel that. And we don't even think about it. We just do it, right? And so it's sort of a coping mechanism, but the downside of that is that then we absorb more energy when we're not home. So it's like leaving your house and leaving the doors and windows all open and then leaving for months and coming home and expecting it to look clean and neat and be all yours again. It wouldn't. It probably, homeless people move in and there's pizza boxes all over your floor because you're just not claiming it. So you have to claim your own space. Nobody's going to claim it for you. In fact, energies that are hungry might want to jump in. So you have to claim it. But once you claim it, it's super easy and freeing and feels really good. So I hope you'll consider, if you go to AnnO'BrienLiving.com, check out the classes. If you are not local to Western Colorado, you can send me an email in the contact form and I'll put you on the list for some of the virtual programs coming up. But if you're local, I'd love to have you. Also, send me a note if you have any questions via the form on the website. So thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.